This is the Qtv Nightly News, which is also on Q Radio 103.3 FM, and I am Loliam Kamara. Thank you for joining us. Here are the headlines. Sirandao, Country Director of the African Network Against Extrajudicial Killings and Enforced Disappearances, ANACED, has welcomed the appointment of Martin Hackett as the Gambia Special Prosecutor for Jammeh-era crimes. The National Human Rights Commission has called on the government to improve conditions in prisons and police detention facilities across the Gambia. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in collaboration with partners and key stakeholders, on Wednesday concluded the final validation forum for the E-Gambia Power Project feasibility studies. SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, in partnership with Net Hope, on Thursday hosted a cybersecurity awareness workshop for non-governmental organizations aimed at strengthening digital security across the sector. In sports news, the Gambia National Olympic Committee has updated the public on the final preparations for the Team Gambia ahead of the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games, which are scheduled to begin this month in Glasgow, Scotland. Those were the headlines. Coming up next, the news in detail. Thank you for joining us. Sirandao, Country Director of the African Network Against Extrajudicial Killings and Enforced Disappearances, ANACED, has welcomed the appointment of Martin Hackett as the Gambia Special Prosecutor for the Jammeh-era crimes. Speaking exclusively to QTV, Now said the appointment brings renewed hope to victims seeking justice and accountability for crimes committed during the Jammeh era. Usman Jata reports.
For years, families who lost loved ones, survivors of torture, and those who endured enforced disappearances have carried the weight of painful memories while waiting for justice. The appointment of Martin Hackett as special prosecutor has rekindled hopes that those responsible for serious human rights violations committed during the Jammeh era could finally be brought to justice.
Having been appointed as special prosecutor,
Hackett has been tasked with investigating and prosecuting crimes committed between 1994 and 2017.
Marina and co. disappeared.
His office will review the findings of the Truth, Reconciliation and Reparations Commission (TRRC) and determine which cases can proceed based on available evidence and witness testimony. Sirandao, Country Director of ANACED, described the appointment as an important step towards restoring victims' confidence in the justice system.
We all know that some of the perpetrators who testified in the TRRC are walking around freely in the country, and victims really have been very distressed by that and discouraged at some point that maybe this will just be on paper and not in reality. So with the recent appointment of the Special Prosecutor, Mr. Martin Hackett, has renewed the hope of the victims community and renewed our energy to engage and to start going forward again.
Appointed under the Special Prosecutor's Office Act 2024, Martin Hackett brings more than 3 decades of experience in international criminal law to the role. His appointment marks a transition from truth-telling to accountability. Sirandao says victims are hopeful the process will be independent, transparent and credible while safeguarding their rights, dignity and safety.
It means for us also that we are really pushing, we need to push to make sure that victims are not left behind in the process. It's a victim-centered approach, and victims are also taken care of and protected during the process, because it's always a difficult process emotionally, but also in terms of their security as well, as victims, as potential witnesses that will be in place. And we also need to make sure that the communities themselves are brought along. It's not just about the victims, it's not just about government, it's also about the whole Gambian population.
Madam Dao believes support for victims must extend beyond the courtroom. She says continuous engagement is essential to protecting their interest and ensuring they have access to the services they need throughout their pursuit of justice.
We recently started a welfare unit within Memory House, within Anaket rather, to have an officer who will be checking on them. So we check on them frequently, at least once a month. We check on them, we engage with them regularly, whether we have a program on. It's very important that that engagement is there to check on their well-being. And we also work with our partners with our programs to really make sure that they are in a good space. They continue to be acknowledged as they are trying to access services, medical support. We accompany them across the way, make sure that they are not left behind, make sure that also their interests are protected.
Beyond prosecuting cases, the Special Prosecutor's Office is expected to protect witnesses, preserve evidence, and keep the public informed of its work through regular updates. For victims, Hackett's appointment marks not the end of their journey, but the beginning of a long-awaited path towards justice. Osman Chata, QTV News.
The National Human Rights Commission, NHRC, has called on the government to improve conditions in prisons and police detention facilities across the Gambia. The recommendations are outlined in the Commission's 2025 Detention Monitoring Report, which was launched this week. Usman Jata again.
The National Human Rights Commission's 2025 monitoring mission assessed conditions in prisons and selected police detention facilities across the Gambia. The exercise evaluated detention conditions, the treatment of detainees, and compliance with national laws and international human rights standards, including the Convention Against Torture and relevant Gambian legal provisions safeguarding the rights of women and children. The Commission's chairperson, Emmanuel Daniel Juve, presented the key findings.
Conditions of detention of police cells and prisons. Again, although improvements have been registered in these institutions, there remains concern. As I've always kept on saying, human rights is work in progress. There are improvements, but of course, we've also observed that we need to do better. Overcrowding is still an issue. Infrastructure that is dilapidated and unsanitary conditions, the health services within these detention facilities and prisons, especially the facilities are inadequate, and the issue of prolonged detention is still a problem. But that is an access to justice problem. It's not only the prison problem, but it's a police problem, it's a judiciary problem. Justice is a chain link.
The report found significant disparities among police stations in infrastructure, staffing levels, detainee management, and compliance with human rights standards. It also highlighted several challenges including poor sanitation, limited access to running water, inadequate ventilation, damaged office furniture, shortage of essential equipment, and in some facilities, unreliable electricity supply. The Commission further noted that some of the detainees face difficulties securing bail or accessing timely legal representation. However, the report found that many detainees had been informed of the reasons for their arrest in accordance with constitutional requirements. Interviews conducted during the monitoring exercise also revealed that although most police stations allowed detainees to contact their families, communication facilities remain limited. The Commission's principal legal officer, Ida Jata, also provided an update on the number and nature of human rights complaints.
We received 60 complaints, out of which 30 were resolved and 25 remain under investigation. 5 have been referred to other institutions for further management. To break this number down, 42 cases were received at the headquarters in Kotu. 16 were received at our offices in URR and CRR, 2 from our office in NBR and LRR. The most common violations of rights which form these complaints were the right to remedy and protection from torture, the rights to liberty, labor rights, property rights, the right to education, rights of children.
Among its recommendations, the Commission urged the government to establish and enforce minimum standards for all police detention facilities. These standards should address key areas such as ventilation, lighting, sanitation, bedding, cell capacity, and overall living conditions. The Commission also called for separate detention facilities for women, children, and other vulnerable groups while emphasizing the need to strengthen rehabilitation programs to support the successful reintegration of detainees into society. Osman Jatta, QTV News.
The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in collaboration with partners and key stakeholders, on Wednesday concluded the final validation forum for the E-Gambia Power Project Feasibility Study. Zainab Chow attended the closing session and filed this report.
Agreement, can you say no? Yes? Yes. You know? Yes, I think yes.
Stakeholders have endorsed the E-Gambia Feasibility Study report following a 3-day forum that brought together government institutions, private sectors, representatives, technical experts, and development partners. The forum reviewed the study's findings and helped ensure that the project aligns with national priorities and expectations. The final approval clears the way for the report to be submitted to Cabinet for endorsement before the implementation phase begins. Participants, including Elizabeth Nen, Head of Business Development and Marketing at GAMSWISH, and Prosper Mendy, Program Assistant at ESI-NEA, highlighted the importance of the project and its potential impact.
Factors or the sectors that are considered in this project, they are something that human consumptions go with on a daily basis. That is energy, that is connection, and also payment. So it is sustainable. This project is just digitalizing what we currently have with NAWEC, with GAMTEL, and other stakeholders like GAMSWITCH, and DGL. So it's just matter, and we've seen that adoption to digitalization is something that is coming naturally. Everybody is adopting digitally because they see the benefits that come with digitalization. So adoption to this project, I am sure that once it is launched, the adoption rate is going to be very quick and it is going to be very sustainable.
All the relevant stakeholders are involved. And if you also look at the confidence and also the zeal in them throughout this workshop, you realize that they are really willing and ready to take it up. So that at the end of the day, there is sustainability of the project, and also to avoid like people will say a project starts today and the next minute it turns out to be something else. We don't want that, and that's why all the relevant stakeholders have been involved from the start of this project. We've reviewed the documents of the consultant from day one. Now that the final report he also presented, we also went through it, and yes, he's done a good job.
Awa Senghor is the Principal Assistant Secretary at the Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy.
We are having the high hopes that we will surely achieve our aims for this project, definitely. It is just coming up, and the Gambia, being among the first countries in Africa to embrace it, really achieve our aim of digitalizing the economy of this country.
The E-Gambia Power Project assesses critical requirements for project development, including infrastructure gaps, network designs, business models, regulatory frameworks, financing options, institutional arrangements, cybersecurity, environmental and social consideration to support effective implementation. If successfully implemented, the project has the potential to reduce the cost of internet access, expand connectivity beyond major urban centers, enhance delivery of e-government services, promote private sector's digital innovation, and contribute to growth and strengthening of the Gambia's digital economy. Reporting for QTV News, I am Zainab Chow.
That story by Zainab Chow will lead us to a commercial break. When we return, we have more national and sports news stories, to stay tuned. Welcome back, and this is QTV News. I am Loliam Camera. Here are the rest of tonight's stories. SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, in partnership with Net Hope, on Thursday hosted a cybersecurity awareness workshop for non-governmental organizations aimed at strengthening digital security across the sector. Yafatu Gay tells us more.
The workshop held under the theme Protecting Children, Data and Digital Assets in the NGO Environment brought together NGO leaders, government agencies, cybersecurity experts and development partners to discuss emerging cyber threats, child data protection and digital safeguarding. RNC is a strategic initiative by SOS Children's Villages and NetHope aimed at strengthening the cybersecurity resilience of NGOs by protecting vulnerable communities, sensitive data and public trust in an increasingly digital world. The initiative is currently being implemented in 10 French-speaking African countries, with the Gambia becoming the first English-speaking country to adopt the program. Jean Lamin Marena, IT manager for SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, an RNC focal person, highlighted the importance of cybersecurity awareness for NGOs.
We bring NGOs together to facilitate more training, more awareness as far as NGO operations go within the ICT landscape. What we understand, what we experience is NGOs goes through a lot of data collection. We work through a lot of personal data. We work with vulnerable communities. We also work with very, very sensitive institutions around the world. So we need to make sure we protect our participants, we protect our partners as well, including the government and other NGOs, international or local.
The National Director of SOS Children's Villages, the Gambia, Jean-Pierre Kovamin, and Olimatu Saho, Compliance, Anti-Bribery and Corruption Officer for SOS, highlighted the importance of strong governance, ethical practices and robust data protection measures in reducing cyber risk within organizations.
We want to build a landscape where we share information, we build capacity between ourselves, and make sure that our operations are safer for the organizations we are representing here, but more importantly for the people we are serving, our target group, our participants.
It will help them to also enhance their internal controls such that when we have a centralized platform where we are sharing this information, it is well protected.
Cybersecurity experts delivered presentations highlighting why NGOs are increasingly becoming targets of cyber attacks and the potential impact such threats can have on humanitarian operations. Participants described the workshop as informative. Mariama Sanyang is a participant from Core Africa, the Gambia.
As NGOs, our works are 90% always online, especially my organization. We're all over the region and mostly we work remotely. So it's very, very important that we know how important cybersecurity is to our space.
As cyber threats continue to evolve, the RNC initiative aims to empower NGOs with the tools and knowledge needed to safeguard communities, protect data, and build lasting digital resilience. Reporting for QTV News, this is Yafatu Gay.
The Gambia Armed Forces has graduated a new batch of personnel from a 9-month Turkish language course, marking another milestone in the country's growing defense cooperation with Turkey. Here is Jacqueline Cooley.
The training equips the soldiers with the language skills required for specialized military training in Turkey. The skills gained will enable them to communicate effectively, understand military instructions, and adapt to the training environment during their stay.
Her yeni bir yeri asker ve profesyonel hayatımızda bizleri yeni ufuklar açacaktır.
Commandant of the Gambia Armed Forces Training School, Abdullah Seka, underscores the significance of the language course.
The Turkish language course is far more than an academic exercise. It is a strategic investment in the professional development of our personnel. As the Gambia Armed Forces continues to strengthen its defense cooperation with the Republic of Turkey, proficiency in the Turkish language has become an essential asset for personnel selected to undergo various military trainings and professional courses in the Republic of Turkey.
The Deputy Chief of Defense Staff, Brigadier General Seth Njai, and the Turkish ambassador to the Gambia, Tuka Oba, Both highlighted the strong bilateral relationship between the two countries and the importance of continued cooperation in ties.
Learning a foreign language extends far beyond the acquisition of vocabulary and grammar. It is an investment in effective communication, cultural appreciation, mutual understanding, and stronger international cooperation.
I would like to congratulate our colleagues who are great. I mean, the Turkish I have heard today is incredible. I mean, Gambians have a really big gift for languages, and we see that today in less than 9-10 months they managed to get an important knowledge of a foreign language and a foreign culture. I am sure this will continue, and I wish them all the best for their training, future endeavors, and their careers.
The officials encouraged the graduates to apply the knowledge and skills gained from the program as they pursue further professional development and represent the Gambia Armed Forces in future training opportunities. Corporal Ansumana Mane, a beneficiary of the training, spoke on behalf of his colleagues.
For us, learning Turkish is not just a language training. It means getting to know the Turkish rich culture, history, and friendship between the two countries more closely. Every new skill we gain during this process will open a new horizon for us in our military and professional lives.
The Turkish language course strengthens GAF personnel's readiness for international training, enhances defense cooperation with Turkey, and equips graduates with essential skills for professional growth and effective military engagement. Reporting for QTV News, I am Jacqueline Collie.
Coming up next is sports news. The Gambia National Olympic Committee, GNOC, has briefed the public on the final preparations for Team Gambia ahead of the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games, scheduled to take place from 23rd July to 2nd August 2026. Our sports reporter, Mamadou Gajaga, attended and filed this report.
The media briefing provided updates on athletes, competitions and officials as the Gambia prepares to compete in 4 sporting disciplines at the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games: athletics, judo, swimming and cycling. The delegation hopes to build on the success of the Birmingham 2022 Games, where Faye Alex Njai secured a silver medal in judo for the country. Expectations are also high in athletics, with Gina Mariam Bass Bite set to return to the tracks following her maternity break, raising hopes of a podium finish in the women's sprint events. Bakari K. Jambe, head of delegation for the Glasgow 2026 Games, provided an update on the team's preparation.
The objectives of the Gambia's participation to this year's Commonwealth Games transcends winning medals or podium finishes, but we seek to provide athletes with quality international competition experience, evaluate the progress of our athletes benefiting from the Olympic solidarity and other development programs around the world, also to improve athletes' performance and international rankings. We also seek to strengthen qualification prospects for future major competitions, particularly LA 2028.
The expectations for Team Gambia are high, according to Chef de Mission Bakari Jame, who said athletes, officials and the entire delegation will serve as ambassadors of the country at the multi-sports event in Glasgow.
Our people, and strengthen national unity and engage our diaspora community. In this regard, we are planning to organize a Gambia Day in Glasgow on the 26th of July 2026.
In a competition of such magnitude, athletes are expected to be in peak shape condition and the right environment to perform at their best. The head of delegation, Bakari K. Jame, elaborates.
We are also seeking to promote the Gambia and showcase not only our talent, but the determination and resilience of our athletes. Success, therefore, will be measured not only through medals, but also through personal best performance, national records, improved rankings, and continued development of our athletes in Team Gambia.
With final preparations underway, Team Gambia is focused on delivering strong performances in Glasgow 2026 Games, as athletes and officials carry the hopes and pride of the nation onto the international stage. Mamudu Gajaga, QTV News.
Best of luck to Team Gambia. Before we end, here's a recap of the headlines. Sirandao, country director of the African Network Against Extrajudicial Killings and Enforced Disappearance, Anaked, has welcomed the appointment of Martin Hackett as the Gambia Special Prosecutor for Jame-era crimes. The National Human Rights Commission has called on the government to improve conditions in prisons and police detention facilities across the Gambia. The Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy, in collaboration with partners and key stakeholders, on Wednesday concluded the final validation forum for the E-Gambia Power Project Visibility Study. SOS Children's Villages The Gambia, in partnership with NetHope, on Thursday hosted a cybersecurity awareness workshop for non-governmental organizations aimed at strengthening digital security across the sector. In sports news, the Gambia National Olympic Committee has updated the public on the final preparations for Team Gambia ahead of the Glasgow 2026 Commonwealth Games, which are scheduled to begin this month in Glasgow, Scotland. That's all we have for you in this news bulletin. Do join us again 8 p.m. tomorrow for more news. Thanks for watching.